When to stop paying for SEO. I own a business and have been chasing rankings for a number of years. For 4 years, I paid an SEO consultant. The first 6 months, we saw a lot of improvement as things got very optimized on page and GMB. But then things flattened out. They tried all of their tricks, optimizations, link building strategies, etc. So I cut them loose and started working with another SEO. Went about things in a slightly different way. We are a couple years into our relationship, and the same thing. First few months, a slight bump, then leveled off, then nothing. At what point do I just cut them loose and just keep the money for myself?
So, when it comes to working on SEO, a lot of businesses have it in their head to where I could just hire somebody to do this and just have like some employee do all their web stuff, all their SEO stuff. And a lot of people lose sight of like how much of a, I guess, bargain and cost savings it can be to actually just outsource an agency, like a reputable, preferably onshore SEO company to do this work, because you're going to be paying them a fraction of what you're paying like a full or even a part-time employee. A lot of times what you pay an SEO company boils down to like maybe a week of a full-time employee if you're going to hire them to do that. A lot of times it's even less than that. It's like a week of a part-time employee doing it. And these people are going to be the experts, and they're going to kind of know. A good SEO company should be able to adapt to what you're doing, and they should be able to kind of identify these trends before you bring it to them. That's what we don't want to have our customers bringing stuff to us and being like, hey, things aren't working. We want to be the ones being like, hey, we're noticing these numbers are suffering. What's your experience looking like? And then come to them proactively with a plan on how to address those issues and kind of pivot before it becomes a pain point.
But this is something that we deal with on a regular basis. I mean, a lot of people have it in their heads that, yeah, I should just be able to pay company X to do this for a couple of years at a rate, like Zach's saying, of, less than a part-time employee. And within a couple of years, I should be at the top of Google. And that kind of mindset, I think, assumes that nobody else is pushing for those same rankings and those same keywords. And so it's a consistency thing. It's an ongoing thing. And a big part of what I deal with is trying to create the proper mindset that this is not a one and done kind of thing. It's not even a, pay us for 6 months, you'll be at the top, and then you're good. Like, it's a little bit of a back and forth, and consistency is key over time.
Yeah, I don't know much about SEO, but I assume, just as an outsider looking in, that it's kind of like going to the gym. Like, you kind of, like, if you're like me, you're like fat and you want to get to a certain weight or a certain look or build. And so you work for like 6 to 8 months, maybe a year. You work really hard and you get to this weight. And then in this guy's case, it's like he gets to where he wants to go, and it just seems like he wants to stop there and just be like, okay, we're chilling. Or it seems like that's what a lot of people want to do. Once they reach the top of Google, or once they start getting some more calls, they're like, okay, we're chilling. But if you did that with your physique and just stopped when you got to a certain point, the muscles would atrophy. Is atrophy the verb?
It's a past tense verb.
They would atrophy as well. And you would go back to the way you were, which I assume is kind of how Google works, because like you said, there's also other companies that are trying to take the number one spot, so it's a constant like upkeep.
The vibe I'm getting from this fella is that he's treating this very hands off, to where he will let some SEO companies sell him on promises, and then he'll be like, okay, take it away. Yeah. And then he'll step away, be hands off, and look at the numbers after a significant amount of time has passed and be like, whoa, this isn't working. You really want to be proactive and collaborative with your SEO company. You want to have like a ongoing touch base with them so you can course correct along the way. And any reputable SEO company is going to have that same mindset. They don't want to basically maybe they do. Maybe they want to sign up a client and hope that it's radio silence for 12 months and they can just roll that money and then eventually replace them with their next client who
Yeah.
does the same thing with when this guy gets sick of them. But realistically, there's really no point where you want to stop doing SEO unless you're going to go after a different marketing angle and start working on like word of mouth or print advertisement or something like that.
Yeah.
SEO, like you said, it's like a muscle. Obviously, you maybe want to have a more aggressive approach out the gate if you have no online presence, and then work on maintenance after that. But really, if you stop at some point, you're basically going to get replaced by somebody who is more aggressively working on it.
Yeah, we have clients all the time that, analyze everything and look at things. Why is company X always at the top of the rankings and I'm way down here? We've been doing this for a long time. What's going on? And we all know that company X is an 800-pound gorilla. They're spending gobs and gobs of money, which means they're paying for a lot more man hours. And to compete with that, unfortunately in some industries there's stiff competition. You got to bump it up and do more. So yeah, it can get kind of convoluted and complicated. It's not a set recipe, and sometimes we might look at it and go, we're doing backlinks and citations, we've got the markup all right, we really should focus on reviews and maybe blogs, but we don't want to take our foot off the gas on these other things. So it might mean the best thing to do is spend a little more money, pay for a few more hours, get some blogs going, and tackle all these areas. But sometimes customers don't want to hear that. They have it in their mind that I should pay a certain amount and be good to go.
Yeah. Name your price. And no matter what you pay, you get the same amount of success.